All right, good morning, everybody. My name's Nate Manahan. I'm here in the Indianapolis area where literally it's so hot outside. I believe you can cut the air with a knife. It's a little bit humid. It's summer. We are so excited to be here today. I'm going to be joined by two of the smartest men in payments, Mr. Brian Linke, Mr. Danny Shard, and we're going to be talking about networking. In fact, let's bring them in. Over here in the middle is the man, the myth, the legend. The one who absolutely is, he's going to be away from us for a couple days next week, so we won't get to see him next week. So we got to soak in all the Brian Linke we can. How are you, Mr. Brian Linke?
I'm great, Nate. Thanks for asking. And yeah, be careful about complaining about the weather. People in Indiana that complain about the heat and I think they forget that it's like winter, like 9 months out of the year. So like I'm pretty, I mean, I'll sweat a little bit to you know what I'm saying, to jump into my pool or drink a cold beer in the summertime because it's always winter here. So.
Well, that's the thing. So when I walked outside this morning with my dog this morning, I didn't have the pool to jump into. So that was what I was, But what I like about these days is you walk outside. Like I specifically took a shower this morning, took the dog for a little bit of a walk, and then came back in and changed clothes again because I'm like, my word, it's 85 degrees already and sticky, and I feel like I'm in South Florida, but I'm good with that. You're totally right. I'm not complaining. Just have to prepare ahead to make sure that I have fresh clothes on. I'm going to guess the humidity is a little bit lower, but the temperature may be high at what 6,000 feet? What's Glenwood Springs up there, Mr. Danny Shard?
Yeah, it's like 5,800 where I'm at, and it was 96 degrees yesterday. But I'm from Houston, Texas originally, so I'm used to the humidity. But luckily, we don't have that here, so it's not hot and sticky. It's hot, but we don't have what you guys have there. And I also don't have a pool to jump into, so there's that. And talking about the weather, whenever you have metal in your body from surgeries and things like that, you can really feel the weather. So Brian, I agree with you. Complaining about the weather is something to be careful of. And you're not even going to have to do that here soon. I mean, because you're really going to feel it in both legs and in a lot of the areas of your body. So you're your own weather map, I think.
You want to hear something crazy? Like before my first knee replacement surgery, I used to always be hot. Right? I mean, like it was always sweat. It was always hot. Ever since then, okay, I'm always cold. I walk into a restaurant.
Really?
I always have to have I always have to. I'm telling you. I remember Matt Hoskins said something to me about it because I always have to keep a sweatshirt in my car because even in the summertime, I walk into a restaurant, I'm freezing. No matter what it is, I'm always freezing now.
Well, I mean, when you're turning into a bionic man, you never know what might happen. I mean, that's you're half man, half robot now. So that's really what we're
I am.
thinking. And gradually, we're going to turn you into like the super technology. And so, the chips will be planted.
When you have to walk into an airport with this and show them this, okay, to get through the metal thing, okay, you're the bionic man because the thing goes
He's
off
just
if I like this, right? Look, it's
And there you go.
listen, listen. It's the right thing to do. I mean, he's just prolonging, his athletic ability even more. He's going to continue working out. He's going to continue being here at Paprotech for years to come, and this is going to let him. You see Brian every week. He's standing at his standing desk, and that's not going to change. And he needs to do the knee replacement so he can continue to do that. So, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. I'm a little nervous. No, I won't lie, but it is what it is. I'll get through it.
So I was stumbling around saying that you weren't going to be here next week with my HIPAA requirements, not sharing that you were going to get the knee replacement. So I think everybody's understood now. Brian will be having surgery next week and will come back to us even better than ever. Probably ready to, maybe by the time we're all in Chicago at the end of July, look for announcements coming here soon. Maybe Brian and Danny will have like a little, 10-yard race down Grant Park or something like that in Chicago. We'll talk about that as the weeks come
How
together.
I'm in.
How long?
10 yards?
10 yards?
I had to keep the expectations low. I don't want to. We're not doing a Rich Eisen 40 here, where you're like
No,
maybe.
I might be able to
I
make
will,
it 10. I
I
might be
will
able to make it
smoke
10.
Brian in the 40, okay? I still got it.
Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, I might be up for the challenge by then. I will tell you this.
Deceivingly
There's
quick.
I will tell you this. There's no way that I won't be there in July. That I can tell you.
That is we are going to hey, we'll make some announcements here in the coming days, and we're getting ready. We've got a Chicago Midwest show going on, and it'll be but I think that's the third week, somewhere the 23rd, 20th through 24th. We're going to have some events. We will be announcing that here next week and inviting all of our Paper Tech Nation to come into Chicago, because there's nothing better than a hot summer day in the Windy City. We love that, and we love Chicago, and we'll be there here soon. But today, gentlemen, let's
real quick.
Okay.
Real quick.
Brian.
My wife thought it was June 23rd, not July 23rd. So I'm not sure if I'd be there on June 23rd, but I will be there on July 23rd.
Absolutely. All right. Today, gentlemen, we're going to talk about networking. And Danny, if you've ever watched any of our Five with Danny's, you know Danny talks about building your pipeline. One of the ways to build your pipeline is to use your existing networks, find other networks that you can join, or even finding professional organized networks you can join. And so let's first define networking. Networking is the ability to connect with people that you already know and connect with the people that they know, and just find ways to interconnect, to be relational, and really just to be human. I mean, that's really what. And Brian, what is that again? What rule is to just be a human?
Just be a normal. Be a normal person. I think that's rule number 7.
That is rule number 7.
That is rule number 7. And being a normal person means we kind of have to maybe relearn this, because some of us have been hiding out in our basements for the last 14, 15 months and maybe haven't been working that. But I think of networking when I walk in and you start working a crowd, you get to know their name, you get to know what they do, and you start connecting and understanding who they are so that you can know how you can meet their needs. And finding existing networks that you already have is one of the most important things, because the merchants that you already know are connected to a network of other merchants that you can do. And Danny, one of the most important things you can do in networking is make sure that you are creating that referral network. How important is that referral network that you can create after getting 1, 2, 3 of the first merchants?
It's massive. I think it's one of the biggest things that you can do in sales in general, right? Of course, prospecting, looking at different ways that you can market your products and your services out there. But building that referral pipeline is going to be the most consistent way that you're going to get business, and it's going to help you really build a solid foundation. You might not get a lot of business from it frequently, but whenever you do, it's going to come in waves. And you usually get a lot of big business through referrals, as opposed to some marketing strategies and things like that. So I think the referral networks is going to be where you're going to get the meat and potatoes of your portfolio.
Well, and I think what we forget is that our personal networks are something we should be connecting with right out of the bat. Who do you know that knows someone else? And so you start connecting, making sure people know what you're doing, making sure people know that what kind of services you offer. Even if they don't have a business, they may know someone that has a business. I mean, Brian, you've been doing this for a long time. You may have a friend who works for XYZ company and has a need, and they may not be the decision maker, but they know the decision maker, and building that network and that personal network and finding that is so important. How have you found that over the last, a couple decades of your career to be able to connect and network with people that you can sell to?
Well, okay. I mean, it's a great question. And the simple answer is, as a salesperson, right, you're always on. Right. Say what you want, but anytime you walk into a business or there's always that opportunity. Matt Hoskins told me a long time ago when I first started here, everybody processes, right? Think about it. Everybody processes.
Everybody. Yep.
Everybody. Okay. So everybody is a potential merchant. Everybody. Right. So now with cash discounting, obviously, I think a lot of guys, a lot of our and gals have changed the way they do business, because again, back in the day, the adage, again, Matt Hoskins, you need to have 100 merchants to make $100,000. I'm not so sure that's the case anymore. And obviously having 100 merchants is amazing. But with cash discounting, it's kind of changed the game just a little bit, right? I mean, your residuals are so much higher. That's why I tell potential agents now, I'm like, okay, if you're not going to get into this industry now, you should never get in, because now is the best time to that we've ever had in the payment space ever, right? So to get back to your question, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's a potential merchant, and you just have to go in there and just, again, be rule number 7: be a normal person. Just talk to people, tell them what you do, tell them what you're about. I got a guy down here, going to see him this afternoon. Gas station. He's got a Clover on his desk. Does about $50,000 a month. He loves the cash discounting because he understands it from the gas station perspective. A little language barrier, but I've got some help there coming in this afternoon, and is using a bank here that never returns his calls, or and yeah, he hates what he's using, and I'm going to go in there and see if I can close him. But yeah, I mean, I go there all the time, and I just happen to, now's the time. And there's the Clover. He tells me about PNC. He can't get me a statement for whatever reason, but okay, we'll get past that, and yeah, sign on the line which is dotted, right?
Absolutely.
I like
And
what you're saying there, man. I mean, you just have to put yourself out there and talk. A lot of folks think of networking as going just to industry events, right? Or even things like Chamber of Commerce business after hours parties and stuff like that. That's the most popular and probably the easy way out of networking. But like Brian's talking about, networking is really just having conversations and putting yourself out there. And it's funny that Nate, you selected this topic, because I say that to my wife all the time. And where I live here in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, the majority of our community, if I know who they are, they know who I am, they know what I do, and I've got a lot of referrals from it. And whenever I'm out talking with people, we go out to dinner, or I happen to meet somebody new, I'm handing them my card, we're having a conversation. Usually it's about business or where they're at here locally and things like that. And I get back to talking to my wife, and she's like, let me guess, you're talking about payments again. You're talking about business again. I'm like, babe, I'm networking. And it's kind of turned into a little bit of a running joke, but that's exactly what it is, right? When you're out and about, when you're doing things, you just have to talk to people. You got to open yourself up. Any communication that you're talking to in regards to your business is building that referral pipeline. You're networking every step of the way. And what you're trying to do is just keep yourself out there and keep your network strong, so you're always going to have several streams of opportunities coming at you.
Well, and I know there's a lot of guys out there that are thinking to themselves, yeah, but I don't want to be that guy, right? I don't want to be the guy where I'm in the grocery store and somebody's like sees me, and they go to the next aisle so I don't see them, right? I mean, not that I've ever
don't
done
be
that
guy and don't make that
right.
money.
Right. Here's the thing. Again, to be a good salesperson, you just have to be a normal person. So when you're being overbearing, when you're not reading the room, knowing the room, right? So when people tell me that, I'm like, okay, you know what? I know what I'm doing. Right, I know what I'm doing. Right, so if when the time is the time, then the time is the time, and yeah, but you're right, Dan. You never lose a deal. You never lose a deal by asking too many questions, by calling on somebody too many times, by making too many phone calls to that person. So people can say you're a pain by doing maybe so, but I'm telling you right now, I've never lost a deal because I call somebody too much.
absolutely. And one of the things is you don't have to be overbearing. And that's like, sometimes we'll talk about this in a second, performing and making sure you have that good 30-second elevator pitch where when the proper time, at the right time in a conversation, when somebody says, what do you do, or how do you describe what you do, you are able to do that in a way that is concise, that is quick, and not overbearing. But one of the things I'm wondering, Danny or Brian, I'll let one of you choose. What do you think about incentivizing the networking? So let's say you have it's where you offer a reward for referrals from your current merchants or even your friends. If you do this, I will give you a bonus, a piece of the residual, whatever that is, and to incentivize that network that you're already doing to try to bring back more business from that referral network that you already have started building.
It's so funny that you asked this question, because I just laugh inside, because again, Matt Hoskins, the CEO, the founder of this company. Okay, when I first got hired, I'm like, so how'd you get, how'd you get all your? He's like, I just pay him. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I tell him, we're running a special right now where we're incentivizing our merchants to sign up with us. So, knowing that you're getting the $300 activation bonus or the 12 times, 14 times true, whatever it is, knowing you're getting that money, he would give it away. He's like, you know what? Come on board with me. We're running a program right now. We're paying every merchant $500 to sign up. And I can remember like it was yesterday. So as far as incentivizing, yeah, I mean that's how I was trained in this industry.
Danny, have you heard any of our partners doing anything interesting or unique when it comes to incentivizing and building that personal network and growing and getting that referral to something that they may not have gotten, but they give them a little piece of the action?
I think I've heard every way to do it, and our partners never cease to amaze me with the unique ways that they come up with to compensate referral partners and people in their network for sending them business. Listen, I think you're naive if you don't do that, right? You're going to find very little people in your network and in your referral pipeline that are willing to just refer business over to you with nothing coming back to them, right? Just because it's the right thing to do. Now, to take that a step further, you may get people that might make an introduction. Hey, my friend does this. Just wanted to put you guys together kind of thing. But what you're not going to get is you're not going to get those people proactively trying to find people in their network to send to you. No, it's not going to happen, right? But they will if they're getting a little piece of the pie, right? If they're getting a bonus, if they're getting a little bit of a residual override, they're going to actively work to send you business. That's what you have to do. You've got to incentivize. You've got to, dangle a carrot, right, and make it worth their while to send you business, right? And it's the best way to do it. One of the most unique ways I think that I've heard is a partner offering his personal training services to merchants to referrals who sent him business. And I'm like, well, I've never heard that before. Most people want a dollar value. They want to feel it in their wallet, right? Hey, I referred Danny this business and I got a couple $100, something like that. So I've never heard of that, but he's doing very well at it. So people are responding to it and he's staying busy. And he's not having to spend his own money to do it. It's just his time and what he's really good at and his personal training. So just consider any way possible to incentivize your network. Obviously, the most popular being money, whether it's a bonus or residual. The residual, I think, is gonna carry more weight. I've got several partners that have also qualified their referral partners for residual. For example, they'll say, hey, for your first 3 to 5 referrals that you send over to me, I'll give you $100. Anyone that gets approved, I'll give you another $50. And anyone after that 5, I'm going to start paying you residual. That's money that these accounts earn on a monthly basis as they continue to process. And that basically just kind of dangles that carrot and makes them continue to refer over to you and then build up to earning some steady income from it, right? Where they can actually start to see that monthly from referrals that they gave to you months and years ago. It's really cool to see all the different ways that partners are doing it. But if you're not incentivizing your referral networks, you're not going to get a lot of business from those referral networks. So think outside the box and try to get some of that money going in their pocket, and you'll see some business coming your way.
Just pay them.
Pay them.
Just pay them. Last thing I want to talk about, Danny mentioned it earlier. A lot of times when we hear the word networking, that's why I started first with the personal network, making sure you see you're already part of a network, is you can join these networking groups, the Chamber of Commerce, local trade groups, the BNIs, the different groups. And I've actually been kind of exploring this. I joined a BNI group local this week. I'm going to share my thoughts at the end here on joining a professional network or a more organized group where you pay a certain amount of money to create referral networks back and forth. But Brian, Danny, have either of you personally done that? We know that there are some people that have been successful at this, but have you either personally done this? And if you did, what's been generally your experience on these, like more where you pay to be part of them, like a Chamber of Commerce, those types of referral network groups that you can join up with?
I have. I've done that before, and I can tell you just personally, it's never really paid off for me a whole lot. I mean, I would always get there and think like, okay, these people are just wasting their time. But I will tell you this, I don't think there's anything you can do as long as you're staying engaged that's bad. And I think again, as a normal person, you'll know whether or not you're wasting your time after 1 or 2 or 3 meetings, right? I mean, you'll get there and you'll be like, okay, you know what, this is great. These people are, they're having drinks and they're having food and it's all good, but like, are you really getting anything out of it? And no one's making you go. So again, but I don't think it's a bad thing to do it, to go, because again, you're staying engaged, you're staying you're interacting with other people, and if you're not there, there's no chance of you ever getting a referral. So look at it that way. Make sure you're not wasting your time, and but for me personally, it wasn't really my cup of tea.
And I think, I mean, Danny, I know we've talked about it. What I think a lot of times is it depends on your location and where you're in. And Brian, for you, did you do this when you were did you ever join a group when you were in New York doing networks, or has it mostly been when you've been in like Northern Indiana, Warsaw for networks?
Well, it's mostly been when I was in Indiana, because in New York, that was back in the day when you could actually cold call for real, right? I mean, that was Empire State Building, starting on the top floor, working your way down. World Trade Center, same thing, and just banging on doors, banging on doors, banging on doors. Obviously, business has changed today. That kind of selling, I think it's still out there. I just don't know if it's exactly the way I used to do it in the mid 80s, early 90s. Things have just changed, right? So those things. So back in the day when you could cold call that way, I don't remember me ever doing that. But now, I think that again, when you're meeting business people, how could it be a bad thing? Are you learning about other businesses? And again, I think you'll know when if and when, or when and if you're wasting your time. And but again, you won't know unless you go.
Yeah, one of the things I've learned from joining this BNI group, and I just joined just this year, and it's all been on Zoom. In fact, after this, I'm going to my first in-person meeting with one of the groups. And but what I've learned is it's an investment in time. And if you can't give 10 hours a week to connecting with people, not just in that 1 or 2 hour group that you have that group meeting, but getting to know people and being part of that, hey, I'm going to refer people to them and they're going to refer people back to me, then it's not going to be worth your investment. And so what I think a lot of people do is they get in these BNI groups, they get in these Chamber of Commerce, and they think, oh, I just want people, and they don't expect to have to give in order to get. And that is not how these groups work, as you have to be giving as much in order to receive as much. And even though everyone needs to and can take payments, you have to realize that these are groups that take major investment. Now, the thing I love about it is, I think one of the things is it helps you hone your skills at absolutely describing what you do, who you are, and why you do it in a very succinct and real manner. And I also think that it is probably more successful. That's why I asked that question to Brian, in larger communities. So like here in Indianapolis, there were 40 different chapters of BNI that I could choose from, all meeting across the city in various different ways. And as a member, each one has a different seat. There are different ways that you can join one group, and if they don't have someone representing you in another group, you can go and just visit those groups and build even a larger network and do more one-on-ones in a very organized fashion. But I also think it's somewhat personality driven and how you're driven. And I love what you said, Brian. If you're taking action, just do something. Just do it, right? I mean, you've got to actually get out there and move. Danny, the biggest thing that can hold us back is our own lethargy, just like not getting involved and not, getting off the couch. Just go do something to build that network, right, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. And just like you guys are talking about, right? Whether you get business from it or not, it's something about just staying engaged, staying in these conversations about business. A lot of it keeps you sharp, increases your confidence. But Nate, you made a good point, right? You're learning about other businesses as well. That is a lot of time, right? 10 hours a week. I think I would probably rather spend most of that time prospecting or trying to build other referral networks. But I think you've got to put yourself out there some. Join the chambers. Join those after hours groups, join these BNIs or something local like that, and just get into conversation. Now, where I've heard from a lot of partners that they don't pan out, similar to Brian's experience, right? Where it just wasn't for him. There's a lot of investment in time, like you said, Nate, and there's, little to no referrals that come from it, because guess what? A lot of those people are the same as you. They're looking to get the same thing you are. You're not looking to bring referrals to that group. You're looking to get referrals to that group. And that's 99% of what the people are there to get. They're there to get referrals, but nobody's coming to bring referrals, right? So it can be somewhat challenging, but I think there's a lot to be said about staying engaged, staying in these conversations, staying sharp, throughout your week and throughout these opportunities that you get. And it can do you a lot of good to just be involved in that, whether you get a lot of business from it or not. And I think over time, you're going to build some good referral networks and just connect with people in other industries that can generally help you overall. So do it. Put yourself out there. Try some new things. Even if you feel like you're not getting anywhere with it, there's a lot to be said about going to those events, staying engaged, and staying in these conversations about your business. That'll just keep you sharp and keep you going throughout.
You're not selling anything by pulling the covers up over your head.
There you go. That is a good line to end with as we talk about it. Just get out there and do it. But you have several layers of networks that you can go out and be involved in right now, and it's all ready for you. So you just got to get off the couch, get the phone in the hand, go start walking the streets, start connecting with the people, and develop even more plan. One day you do it, learn, keep going, keep going, keep going. But we do this because we want to make sure that you know that this is the best summer ever, right? I mean, we are right back into it. I keep playing this every week because we really believe that this is the best summer to be involved in payments. So many people are joining in, getting ready, say, hey, we want to help you. So as we close out, Brian, Danny, let's bring up a little music and let's go with that music. I want this music right there. There we go. All right, the cruise music here. Mr. Danny Shard, Mr. Brian Linke, can you guys give us, we're coming up on the halfway point, almost there, squeaking in through June. We're almost to the first real day of summer next week. Brian's celebrating that by getting a new knee because he's going to be jumping in July. How do we encourage our partners about how well things are going? I mean, it's been an amazing week. Danny?
Two things. One,
Oh, Brian, go for it.
I'm just going to say, like you said, we're already almost halfway through June. And I want to encourage partners to get out there and try to get some seasonal business. As we're getting into these hot months, there's a lot of seasonal businesses popping up everywhere, right? Fireworks are going crazy right now. We're in the middle of getting all of these set up. But you're talking boat rentals. You're talking a massive amount of seasonal businesses that can make you a ton of money, and all of these merchants want to do cash discount. Think outside the box. Try to get after some of these seasonal merchants in these hotter months, and you're gonna get some more money from these types of merchants here.
Brian Linke.
Just real quick, I just want to give a shout out this morning to my boy downtown Jimmy Brown down in Florida, he's got a pipeline. He's turning in deals. He's writing business. He's taking it seriously, and he's going to do some great things here in the future with PayProTech. But again, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It has never been a better time to be in sales in this industry than it is right now. Period. I mean, since the inception of credit cards, I swear to you, with cash discounting, it has never been a better time than right now.
Absolutely. On that, gentlemen, we close off. We salute all of our PayProTech Nation. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch us anytime right here live on YouTube every Friday around 10:15ish. We come live. Look for the link in your email that you come. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just search The High Five or follow the links also in the email. Look for the 5 Dannies. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. New content coming out on all those channels. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you, and we give you the virtual high five. Thank you guys, everyone. Have a good one. See you soon.